Up and Adam.
Tractor systems are offline.
We are Beyond FM.
Beyond FM.
The future of broadcasting is here.
Up and Adam with Adam Montiel. It's community content from Concentrate. It's Up and Adam with Adam Montiel.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Yes, some say life is just where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Tuesday back at it, and thank you so much for being Up and Adam. My name is Adam Montiel. Gorgeous Tuesday. This is a beautiful day. You're beautiful too. Listen to this. From Cal Poly to Kabob King. He said it as a joke in 2009. He says, if there's no Persian kebab at the SLO Farmers Market in 10 years, I'm going to be the one to do it. Well, this dude wasn't kidding. Today, Sina Shakerian is the owner, the chef, the grill master at Shekamoo Grill. The flame-forward Persian pop-up turned brick-and-mortar staple that's serving up soul, tradition, and charcoal-charmed, flavorful goodness to SLO-Cal. Stay tuned later in the show. We're going to talk to Sina about everything from Cuba Day to culture shock, including what it's like to build an American dream while watching your family's homeland fight for its own. This one's got fire. I can't wait to introduce you to Sina. Literally, emotionally, it's going to be a great chat. Now, you know by now, February is Black History Month. And before we go any further, let me say this out loud. This isn't going to be about checking boxes. It's not just about firsts. And it's definitely not just about struggle. This month, I want to zoom in on the parts that don't always make the calendar. The builders, the inventors, the operators, the stories where if you blink, you missed it. Here's something you don't hear enough. Before the Civil War even broke out, nearly 500,000 Black Americans were already free. That's about 11% of the Black population at the time. So no, Black history didn't begin at the worst moment, and it didn't pause until permission was granted. People were already inventing, already earning, some solving problems the country didn't even realize it had yet. Some amazing stories. And that's the kind of the lane that we're in here. I thought this would be a fun, kind of cool angle to take because not because oppression didn't exist. It did. And brutally, we know this. But because excellence also existed at the same time. And that part often gets skipped because it complicates the narrative. And this series isn't about erasing struggle. No, not at all. It's about restoring dimension. Because history, it's not just pain. In this, it's agency. It's skill. It's risk. It's people doing real work with real consequences. Now, some of these names, they changed entire industries. Some rewrote laws before anyone was paying attention. Some made money. Some made systems safer. Some made life work better for everybody. And most of them didn't get a day, right? So all month long, we're going to be pulling some of these stories out of the margins. Short hits, fast paced, no filler. This is Black history. The parts they don't always slow down for. Sometimes if you blink, you missed it. So today, show one, quick little nuggets. I want to tell you about the man who sweetened the world. If you've ever put sugar in your coffee, poured milk that didn't spoil, or benefited from desalination somewhere in the world, you felt the ripple effect of one man. His name, Norbert Rillieux. Norbert Rillieux was born in New Orleans, 1806, long before the Civil War, long before anyone was talking about representation or firsts. His father, an engineer. He saw talent. He sent his son to France to study. And by the age of 24, Rillieux was teaching applied mechanics. Yeah, not learning it, teaching it. And then he started fixing a problem that was costing people their skin. Sugar refining, see, it was dangerous at the time. Extreme heat, open boilers, workers were getting burned. And yes, slaves were maimed in the process. Rillieux invented a multiple effect evaporator under vacuum. So less heat, fewer workers, more control, safer conditions. He patented in 1846. Now put a pin in that year, 1846. That's nearly 20 years before slavery ended in 1865. Let that land. This work was happening while the country was still living inside that system. And here's the best part that makes this even wilder. His invention, it's still used today. Desalination, condensed milk, food processing, paper making, wastewater treatment. I mean, 2 centuries later, it's a tool that we completely still rely on. The American Chemical Society commemorates him as a National Historic Chemical Landmark. But no hashtag, no holiday, no day on the calendar, just serious impact this man had. So that's what we're doing this month. Not just barriers broken, systems built. Not just firsts, but function, right? Norbert Willieu didn't just make history, he made things work better, work safer, work smarter for everybody. So it's kind of where we're going to go as we kind of delve in a little bit each, maybe once or twice a week with Black History Month. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I loved doing this research and learning about some of these things. Really exceptional. So I hope you enjoy this with me. Now, before we get into our chat with Sina from Shekamoo Grill, look, if you're in SoCal and you call SoCal home, this one is for you. Paso Wine Fest coming in hot, May 15th through May 17th. And the reason I tell you about May right now, because locals get that first sip on a deal that's going to go down as smooth as a red blend, baby. Through Friday, February 28th, San Luis Obispo County residents can score grand tasting tickets for just $99. Yeah, $99. Sip over 100 Paso wineries in one spot. This is for Saturday, that May 16th grand tasting. Over 100 wineries, fire food, live tunes, Paso showing off only like Paso can. This is becoming a wine fest, a food and wine fest that the country is now looking at. Like, it is not just like those days at the park. No, we are Paso Event Center. This is a legit, we're like Aspen Food and Wine is looking at this. Taste of Vale is looking at this. Some of the best wine fests in the nation are looking to go, oh, damn, Paso's bringing it now. So if you want in on this locals only deal, you got to buy in person, either at the Paso Chamber on Spring Street or the SLO Chamber on Monterey. Bring your local ID. This deal is just for those folks who call SoCal home. After February 28th, that price jumps. So get in now. Details, full lineup, PasoWine.com. Also, you can go to AdamMontiel.com right off the homepage. I got a link you can click there to win your way in. Yeah, we're going to be giving away some tickets to Paso Wine Fest. So get to AdamMontiel.com if you want to win them. But PasoWine.com, get the info, or just show up to the SLO Chamber on Monterey, the Paso Chamber on Spring Street, and bring your ID. Got to show that you live in SoCal and get your locals only tickets. Yeah.
It's Up and Adam with Adam Montiel.
All right, I am really excited about this one. My next guest, someone who turned a wild promise at SLO Farmers Market into a full-on SoCal love story. He's the owner, head chef, the grill master behind Shekamoo Grill, a Persian kabob spot that started as a dream, grew through pop-ups and catering, even COVID, and now has landed its first brick and mortar at SLO Ranch Farms and Marketplace. It's food with fire, with culture, and oh my gosh, a whole lot of heart. Story that runs way deeper than what's on the plate. I'm excited to introduce you to Sina, the owner of Shekamoo Grill. Man, Sina, thank you so much for being Up and Adam.
I'm excited to be here, brother.
I am so excited to have you here. Look, it's not every day. And we'll talk about how I first met you and first, met your spot first. But, it's not every day you meet someone who's really, you made a wild promise at a farmer's market and actually kept it a decade later. And, what do you remember about those exact moments with Lindsey when you said, if there's no Persian kebab here in 10 years, I'm going to do it?
I don't think about it often, but right now how real that is that I really meant it from the bottom of my heart, is that I could see myself doing that. And I could literally see she thought I was 100% out of my mind because our lives were so entirely different. I was working towards being a teacher, and anyway, so it was kind of what that magical intersection of impossible and this is going to happen.
I think it's cool that you and I, we kind of grew up not too far apart from each other in Southern California. And, hip hop and just that life of, Southern California. And what is it? How did you find your way up here?
All the good things about LA and Southern California you have here, but kind of in a pocket and not so dense. We have beaches there. We have some mountains. You can kind of get away from LA and Orange County too, but you're just in the middle of getaway here.
Yeah.
When people described San Luis all these years later, like I do, I've been here almost 20 years now, 2007. I came to Cal Poly, and you're here that long and you realize people do. They come to visit where we live. And I wanted to be able to say that, where we live.
Yeah, I love that. And it's not an easy area. Once you get out of Cal Poly, you find, God, I'd love to stay here. But you look around, you're like, it's not an easy area to make it work. You have to really figure something out and hustle.
Yeah, anybody that stays, we have some friends, a couple that have, very few. But you basically say, we got lucky. We got lucky because. And for me and this dream of Shekamoo that me and Lindsey built together, a lot of it is built on the foundation of she got lucky and there was an internship, engineering, and eventually, after a lot of years, worked her way into PG&E. And so that's, always helped provide stability for us. And beginning of my journey out of engineering was teaching. And that was 5-6 years of relative stability, at least, on the bottom end of the scale financially. But long end game was every year I kept thinking, so in 30 years, I'll, and I was done doing the math on that. I was a math teacher and, like when I was in college and you're doing more math to see how badly you could fail the final, but still pass the class. I was doing that with my life.
Yeah.
I was counting those days. And so, it was an easy transition from that point to see what it would be like to do something we love in a community that needed it.
I think of Cameron Salor. His family grew up, they moved to Agora in I was in third grade, and I met Cameron, super quiet, sweet kid, and I had met him, and we just clicked, but I was really go get him, let's get Cameron out of his shell, and he was like, let's maybe teach Adam a little bit of, know when to cross T's and dot I's. But his family was so great. I learned so much about culture from the food that his mom would make, and just sitting in beanbags playing Tecmo Bowl, or his sister Miriam would drive us to school. She was a senior, we were a freshman, so I'm getting to park in the parking lot, and we're listening to Wu-Tang Clan and everything, you know what I mean? And it was just so cool. I learned of culture from this family and from Miriam, but there was something about the food that his mom would cook. Persian food and Persian family and Persian vibes, they're just so unique and so exciting.
It's exciting to hear you say that, and a lot of people do. It's people's introduction to our food is usually a friend and their mom or some aunt's restaurant, because we want to share the energy that's put in that food. Persian food takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of old cultural connections to all the other cultures out there that have been around a long time. Someone's getting started at 6 a.m. getting that meal going, and for us, that's what it is. My friends joke about how they would smell lunch getting started in the morning. Some part of it is getting going. So that's what you can taste, and that's why you remember it, is because it really is more than just the spices and the seasoning. That changes from mom to mom, and all of your Persian friends will swear that their mom's is the best this or that, and they're right on a couple of those dishes. And it is just an accumulation of energy put into that food that you take with you. You still got it in your smile right now.
I know. It's so cool. I first met Shekamoo Grill. It was during restaurant month. We're, trying to find and experience everything. And we just go in there, and it was, I think Layla and another, it was like on a night, on a weekend night or something. And we just had such a blast. We tried so many different menu items. The hospitality was great. And I remember being at Farmers Market. I remember Whitney coming in when she was the Farmers Market manager talking about you on my show. But I'd never really like gone into the restaurant and tried you.
Right.
And we just tried a bunch of stuff. And we were just like delighted with every single thing we tried. And we'll talk about some of those menu items. But where did all of this come from? When you thought about the fingerprint and the signature that Shekamoo was going to have, how did you nail that down with such a wide array of cultural cuisines you could have picked from in the Persian arena?
So the foundation just comes down to growing up and watching my dad grill for us. And so while there is a lot that I humbly say I do not know about the depths of Persian food, but I'm pretty good at making, marinating, grilling kebab. I watched my dad do that from when I was 7 years old. And when you say put a fingerprint on it, I think that comes from having talked to you about this idea that one of the dishes that we have, one of the kebabs we have, it's a minced meat mix of beef and lamb, and there's onion in there that marinades it. And you're basically really massaging this meat and working it until the fat just almost starts to melt and mix with the meat. And before you know it, what you have is this very sticky, it's kind of fatty, but it's so that you can mold it onto a big metal skewer that people lovingly call a sword. These aren't those little kebabs that wind up on a wooden,
not at all,
an elongated wooden toothpick. This is really hot fire, real charcoal grill outside. And point is with that kebab, you get it on a skewer and you're molding it, and it actually takes your fingerprints. And so as you teach people to do this, they're again putting their energy and literally putting their fingerprints on it. So the foundation of how we got started was simply that I jumped out on a grill and knew that I wanted to make this style of kebab. And you fill in around it with everything that my mom taught me, from making the perfect, soft, fluffy, basmati rice with that saffron that brings in a lot of flavor from aroma to taste to color. And the salad, a Shirazi salad, is this traditional. Again, you find it in other places. It's funny. I've had customers come in and say, oh, so that's the Israeli salad. And it took me a second to realize it, but I looked up Israeli salad and it's like, wow, pretty much the same ingredients right there, and so I have a little touch of this or that's different, a little dried mint that I put in it. That's a Persian touch. And you put in a couple sides. We have what people think is a Greek yogurt generically, but a tzatziki is Mediterranean food, the yogurt that goes there. And we've got ours with shallots and mint, and that was the foundation. And we started little backyard barbecues when I couldn't figure out, why I wasn't happy as a teacher. COVID hits, and I'll take you real quick. One of those backyard barbecues was for someone who asked if I could cater her daughter's wedding for 150 people. And at that point, I had never cooked for more than, 10 or 15.
That's a big leap.
It was insane. Yeah, 10 times leap, And so, long story short, I told her, she had 8 months, and I said, give me 5. You have 3 months after that to find another caterer if I can't pull it off, but give me 5. If I can do 50 or 75 or 100 and manage that, then I can promise you that I'll make your daughter's wedding a beautiful day.
Wow.
And we did it. I worked with some wineries. We did some pop-ups. It was COVID. They needed support selling their product. They needed to be an essential service. And so
food.
Essentially, we were there to help, service all their customers' needs. And we popped out there with a tent and a charcoal grill. And me and Lindsey, after her 40-hour weeks, came out and helped me out on the weekend. And we were just plating things. And I don't know. I'm just trying to picture it right now. And it's crazy that wild. It's a lifetime ago. That's 6 years ago.
Yeah. And, you got tight with these wineries. You worked with a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's a great group of people to get to know here.
Yeah. I mean, we started with them because of their support. We knew them before that. I'm going to name drop a couple.
Please.
Ventu is
Love Ventu.
Templeton, and have they're our neighbors.
Katie, they're awesome. Oh, you live out there?
We live in Templeton.
Nice.
Just right by that medical
I love
complex.
Katie and her team.
We walked the dogs there. We were members of the winery. And then I became a teacher, and I had their students in my, their kids were in my class in my basketball.
So you've cooked in that kitchen, that house kitchen?
Oh, yeah.
We've stayed there. It's great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so between them and, there's Four Lanterns. Four Lanterns are amazing. They're a family that came out here from Orange County, and it's named after their 4 daughters. Those are their lights, And at least Volatus, I'm going to tell you, we've done so many events with them. All of these people are families that create these products from the bottom of their hearts. And for sure, you know, that's where we started. And then before you know it, these wineries like Whalebone. Whalebone's a winery that's been around since the start. They're perched up on a beautiful hill on their own, family run since the beginning. We sell, you know, wholesale hummus and chips to them because once people go that far, they need a bite. And once they tried it, they've been ordering it nonstop. And here in San Luis, Sausalito, we've done we're going to be doing their pickup party this Friday and Saturday, and we're going to be serving you know, a very traditional Persian stew there. And stew is this big scary word where everybody's just like, who would want a stew? And for us, it's to describe a dish that you guys don't have here. And it's this warm, hearty, wonderful conglomerate of whether it's the protein you want or there's beans involved, there's different vegetables involved, but it goes over a bed of rice. So you're enjoying that with a base. And again, whether you want some yogurt on the side because it's a tomato-based stew.
That sounds great.
Or whatnot. But yeah, so this one's it is a roasted tomato base and I'm sorry, it's a split pea a stew.
That sounds fantastic.
And you know, I'm going to get some nice chuck roast and kind of braise that a little bit and turn that into stew meat and let that simmer. And so Sausalito, we're at this place finally now where I have a restaurant, and these customers that I was helping Sausalito get their customers food, and now their customers can come and enjoy at our restaurant. I can try, they can try something. You know, everyone's, with all due respect, tired of the same old thing, right? And so even for us, we've been working with Sausalito 4 years. You know, we ended up going the other route where I'm used to doing kabob, but they kind of needed some other things. And it was like, this party's near Cinco de Mayo. We're doing Taco Tuesday with them now.
Nice, cool.
You know, and in the middle of COVID, there was a really fun, Taco Tuesday challenge kind of thing. A bunch of us got together, a bunch of different caterers and restaurants.
With the Switch?
Yeah,
I remember
this was at the Switch. That was so much fun, you know? And me and Lindsey now, that's a whole different side of this. She went from a meat and potatoes, you know, in and out, just beef and cheese type girl to creating some of the most amazing things at this point on our menu, from just really wanting to try and experiment. And once she had this opportunity of, well, we need it for Sausalito, or we need it for Ventu, let's try something new or whatnot. And we just started kind of building out some things, and you know, that's how you end up with a Persian paella on your menu.
So good. There's a couple things you got that are really exceptional. One, first of all, I want to talk about this hummus, because hummus is hummus when it's bought off the shelf, and you can pay for a good one that's okay. But when you get some super good hummus, you know it. Yeah. And your hummus, I didn't get it the first time. And then Robin from the Wood Humane Society was like, did you try the hummus? I'm like, no. So I went and you brought me some. Oh my God. And then we'll talk about the chips in a second. But what is the secret to this hummus? Because it's incredible. And then with the chips, it's just like go-to.
Secret is, you know, I can't tell you, but the mix, everybody knows the recipe. You know, I'll tell you right now, you got to have some acid in there with some lemon juice. You should have some garlic, you know, in your spices. There should be some cumin. And, you know, everybody knows you got your tahini. And it's very deep. It's like peanut butter, but thicker. And it's all a matter of ratios and creating a balance. And we go so far as to use fresh garlic and a little bit of kind of roasted garlic and olive oil. So you have both of those. There's levels, there's and layers of flavor.
And you can buy the hummus to go. You can just grab some and get some to go with the chips.
You know, the chips are a whole different story. Those are a labor of love. And I keep doing this. I was lucky enough to be on the radio with you the other day, but if Trader Joe's out there and looking for a new chip to steal from somebody, I'm telling you right now, that
these would slay.
Yeah, we bake. It's garlic. We call them garlic and herb pita chips, and we bake them from scratch. So we put the dried herbs in the dough. It's rolled out in it. It's baked. When we're done baking this bread, the whole house smells like garlic bread, right? And just flatten it out. But from there, when you fry it and just finish it with a touch of salt for that finish. between the chips and the hummus, the idea is just that you might think you don't like either, and you take, I've had from customers to employees who hey, listen, you're new here, I need you to taste the hummus so you know what's going on, and this is the worst part of their day now because they have to try hummus. What do I catch them doing at the end of the day?
Stealing hummus.
They're in there.
They're loving it.
It's
taking bites.
It's on their plate that they're trying for dinner. And I'm like, that's how this should be.
And these chips, though, because everyone knows pita chips when you buy them in the store. Yeah. They're a little thick unless they're super thin and they're broken at the bottom of the bag. And I do, I'll buy those naked pita chips, whatever. Your pita chips are next level. They're very different.
Yeah.
First of all, they got mad flavorings inside of them, and they're thin. They're just like a chip.
It's like a tortilla chip.
Yeah,
and, the big picture is just tortilla chips were a product that came out of necessity. People had leftover pita bread, and they needed to do something with it.
Right.
So we fried it up, and it went perfectly with hummus. And so there wasn't a lot of thought into it. You got close with the naked and the I forget what it's called, but we have. I'm not going to mention my competition. People know there's some pita chips out there, but it is just a thicker bread, and this is an artisanal thing. This is and they're more expensive. You're going to get a bigger bag of chips when you buy it from Ralph's, that's for sure. But the idea with these is they're made from scratch. I use organic flour. There's no additives in it. Sure, it's fried. And that's a choice you make in your life.
Chips.
But
once
you decide to go with chips, these kind of change your life a little bit.
They do. They certainly do. As there's some other items on your menu that are just nuts. The kumade, that you really played with that recipe to get, I love the way you put ratios. We say that in our house all the time. Ratio is so important. But these nachos, they're like the nachos that aren't nachos.
You wake up thinking about those.
But they're better than nachos. They're so good.
They're super nachos. They're no cheese nachos.
Yes.
I was going to play with the calling them no cheese nachos. The best part of these nachos is that they're the best nachos you could imagine, and they don't have cheese. And I might lose some people right there. I'm sorry.
But you got to explain it because it'll make sense.
It's really simple. I mean, when you think about it, if you had to say what the worst part of nachos is, what would it be? What ruins your nachos?
Ultimately, it's the cheese.
With a given amount of time, it's going to solidify. It gets cold. It ruins the chips.
Right.
And it might, for the first few seconds, be that thing you want. But, a lot of times it's that kind of just cheap nacho cheese too,
right?
But you regret it after almost.
Yeah.
But what we do is basically create that effect out of homemade sauces, scratch made sauces. From that yogurt sauce we have that's shallot and mint. It's very light and fresh. It's your sour cream right there, but healthier. And
say it's your sour cream right there.
That's your sour cream right there. And so it's healthier. You know what I mean? And then sauces we make from scratch. I'll tell you, we have something that we call a sabzi sauce. Sabz just means green, and sabzi is our term for green herbs. So your parsley and cilantro is our sabzi in Farsi, for example, as well as basil and whatever. It's a fun term. So we call it our sabzi sauce because it's a chimichurri, and it's just really nice, really fresh, really bright. We lovingly have our nacho sauce or our red chili sauce.
That's bomb too.
It's neither of them hurt in terms of a heat level, but they both give you a nice little tingle. Between those three sauces, and they're red, white, and green, and those are the Persian flag colors, which is just really beautiful. But so you get on there the kubide, that flavor that I want you to have when you come in, because it's about that. But you're just worried because I don't know, that whole meat on a stick thing, it's not for me, and you're feeling nachos. Well, now I have a way to deliver that flavor and the essence of what I want in a vessel that is both comforting to you because you think you know what it is, but also delivered in a new and fresh way that's different. And so that kubide meat just kind of gets cooked down just like you would kind of a nacho meat and a ground beef, if you would, and finish it off with some fresh cut basil and cherry tomatoes, and it kind of just it pops.
What I love about the nachos is it's not just like a pile of chips where all the goodness is on the top, and then by the time you get to the middle or the bottom, it's just chips.
Yeah.
And it's spread out over a plate, and every chip has got love on it.
When you got a weird OCD, studied engineering, was a tutor and a teacher his
little
whole
ADHD
life.
in there.
I mean, every time one of my poor loving employees, my coworkers, makes another nachos, and I'm trying to tell him how the lines should be tighter, or there should be more basil, or every time, because it's this little piece of artwork. It's really beautiful.
It is.
I've literally had customers that haven't eaten it, and they're taking pictures of it to send to a friend, and I'm over here like, listen, now's the time. That's fresh. That's nice. You jump in there. Take your picture and move along here, because I want them to taste it, you know.
Yeah.
When I grew up, you were standing by the grill because you wanted to get it right before it came off. Before it went inside and there was a plate and rice, you wanted to be out there to get a piece right off a skewer, you know?
So good. We even, because we went out of the box on a couple different things and knew we would take some food home. We ordered the lamb burger.
Oh, yeah.
That thing was bomb, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you really have it dialed in there. You know, I think you once said you were talking about smoke. I want you to see my smoke off the 101. And it feels symbolic, but you know what? It's kind of, you know, smoke is a signal sometimes. And what you are doing out the back on that bomb ass grill.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole ranch smells like your food. And it is really, and I got a chance to get back in there and see what, you know, your chefs were pulling off. It's incredible, that grill and what's able to come off it.
It's serene, and the space back there is beautiful. I invite anybody who comes by to get your food. You can go out back and see it on the grill. You know, you could watch them getting that to perfection for you over that charcoal grill. And there's that beautiful field in the back. And it's basically the main reason Shekamoo Grill as a restaurant happened. Is I was kind of looking, there was lots of different options available in downtown SLO. But in the end, I needed to be able to provide this flavor on a charcoal grill. And, you know, they provided me that opportunity at SLO Ranch. At SLO Ranch Farms, and I don't regret it one bit. We have a lot of work to do. A lot of the restaurants, a very scary thing, and a lot of details to figure out. But we have already a connection with the community. I've already got customers that keep coming back.
That's awesome.
I have local, you know, people like you that have seen it and care and are reaching out. And I have to thank you so much, you know, for giving me this opportunity to share this, because it means a lot. Our product is not only made from scratch, but it's a high quality product.
Yeah.
You know, we're ordering meat from the best of the best, and you can taste that. You really can, and people notice it. So, you know, we're just hoping to get people's attention. How many people have seen SLO Ranch Farms, that new build off the side of the 101, and thought, you know, we'll go check that out, you know? And we got to find them.
Let me ask you a cultural question, because we got a chance to, when we're wrapping a little bit, to talk a little bit about this. But, you know, like I mentioned, I grew up in Southern California, a lot of Persian families who I got a chance to know, still know many of them, and have kept in contact since my days in Agora. And many of these left in the 70s and 80s because they didn't feel safe in their home country. Some never look back. But they've, you know, we've all been watching the headlines, as I know you have. How do you process everything going on in Iran right now, knowing, you know, knowing your American dream is thriving here, but your ancestral home feels, there's a lot of feelings and heart that has been left there, I'm sure.
I feel like this is a whole other episode, man. I'm gonna give you the short and sweet as fast as I can. I think my perspective is kind of interesting. I'm in the middle. My parents left before the revolution, but they were only able to leave because my mom's side of the family, they had some money. They were able to, and they came out to go to school. My parents came to get their second master's degrees before the revolution was going, and essentially almost couldn't come back is what was going on. But my dad's side of the family, on the other end, very economically challenged, if you would. And so those are the two groups. And a lot of times it's the differing opinion comes from, well, were you and your family stuck inside, or did you and your family get outside? And that's what you have right now. I'll let you know the two sides are, there's the diaspora, all the people that left. We all, and I say we, I was born here, you know, from the outside look in and say it's how do you say this? No one likes the regime and what's happening. And obviously we want something to change for those people in there. And there's, of course, people in Iran who feel the same way. They want change. The big question and the hardest thing for everybody to answer is, what do most of the people in Iran want? And it's not just, oh, there's a blackout right now, we can't talk to them, you know, through phones and stuff. It's deeper than that. It's how do we actually, even when there is ability to communicate, find what the people want with this given regime. And so I have family that's on both ends of this, where it's like, outside influence has never been really great in our country, in Iran, without going into too much detail. From British influence to U.S. influence over the years, there's been as much conflict created as anything else. And so as much as we want that as an opportunity to create change right now, Reza Pahlavi is kind of crown prince in line to try to go back and create change. And he's said that, he's not trying to go be a monarch. He just wants to help give the people a chance to vote for change. And that sounds great. There's a lot of people in Iran. It's unfortunate. 90 million people. There are a lot of people that aren't necessarily devout Muslims that want the state of governance that exists now, but also don't want outside influence. Know that had created problems before. And that I don't think that's spoken about enough. I'll be honest with you. I think that's a perspective I have where, my uncle's been there his whole life and he doesn't. He lived there when wars were created with outside influence and lived through them. Businesses lost, and now fears that to get really political with you, they're talking about going in and splitting the country up into different sections, and that doesn't always benefit the people in the country. Maybe some of them it does, and maybe in a larger way, you've now taken the national resources that existed for these people for thousands of years, which now we've sanctioned, and they don't even have the ability to sell and use, and a lot of stuff. And I say for the people of Iran, that's theirs. If you think about it, we were fighting for that land for a long time.
Sure.
But in the end, it's just that they've struggled to survive as a nation, as people, and all of us know we want change. We're just trying to figure out how we can give them a voice.
Let's talk about the people of Iran, because the ones I've known, resilient, joyful people, deeply proud, but it feels like the world doesn't always get to see that because the headlines sometimes rewrite the narrative. What's one thing you wish Americans truly understood about the Iranian people, beyond the politics, beyond the noise?
I mean, I don't know. I go straight to my own state of mind where we're all people. We all came from somewhere and have a culture. And I would say that if everybody took a minute to kind of look into what Persian is or what Iranian is, they do themselves a big favor. There's a lot of people out there right now that have opinions and want to help and want to be a part of it. And the first thing you hear on the news is what you want to go talk about, or the first Facebook your post your friend puts out is the one you're going to promote to. But it's a culture that outside of Islam has been around, literally for thousands of years. We have a barrel of one of the oldest barrels of wine, I believe, that was ever found. There's two of them. One's in Georgia and the other one's in Iran. And Georgia, of course, the country, Georgia borders us. And, they're as in between Russian and Persian as you can get. And I have a Georgian friend named George Boshorshvili from high school still. And, 5,000-year-old, canister of wine. That's what they, dated. And so this goes back before religion, there's a lot of pride. There's a lot of, I think when you say joy, when we're around each other, sharing those meals, introducing people to our culture, we want nothing more than for them to know kind of where we've been and where we've come from and how, we want to share that.
The kabob you'd eat every day for the rest of your life.
Oh, Lord, help me. I've got to be honest with you. I'm supposed to say kubide, but there's so much work that goes into that I'm telling you now, I wouldn't put in the work for myself. Yeah. I'll do it for other people. What we have right now, this hanger steak, is a cut of steak that, when taken care of properly, I'd go, bang for your buck. No question about it. Best cut of steak. And so the way we grill it, the way we cook it, because of how we cut it into, I call them steak medallions, if you would. We cut them into smaller pieces so that they get a char all the way around, get a nice little sear.
Chunky
but inside, inside you still want, you can cook it to order, but that nice medium rare. And so now, for example, you're almost not even letting your steak rest because it's not this big hunk of meat with all of the juices in one spot. Each piece has its own. And so based on how big we cut it, there's different ones on the plate and how comfortable you are diving into a big bite. You take one bite of one of those medallions and it just melts away and you got the texture of the sear on the outside. And We marinate it. It just really takes like a 4 to 6 hour marinade because it's so tender that steak is. It's like an accordion when you know what you're looking at. You can just see the layers of fat marbled in there too. And so that steak for me, I mean, I again get it from a great company. It comes in cleaned. I cut that up. It gets a little bit of, no secrets here, some onion juice and a little bit of yogurt, just like Greek yogurt. The seasoning is salt, pepper, and turmeric. And you get the ratio right on that. And the heat right. You got to get the heat right.
For sure.
Hot grill. You want to sear that outside real nice. You rotate it until every side gets a little bit of char. And you know the inside's done. You just know it.
The chicken is unreal. The way it folds up, you got like the blackened, tips of it. The chicken is so good. Don't sleep on that. Favorite ingredient in your marinade, no one guesses correctly.
I mean, who would think there's a thing called onion juice?
Right.
Yeah, it's a problem. If you go into our fridge and you go after something labeled OJ, you're in trouble. Yeah.
Biggest pet peeve when people eat the kebab wrong.
So you need a spoon. If there's rice on the plate, you need a spoon. Just think about it. Let's all be logical. Why would you pick up these individual grains of rice
with a fork?
With a fork,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Our rice doesn't stick together.
Right.
And so the fork is there essentially to shovel rice onto your spoon.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Lindsey's best idea that you wish you thought of first.
Oh goodness! I mean, no, I'd have to go through so much. I'll tell you this. She came up with the pita chips. Really? She did everything. She started making bread from scratch. I have pictures of it. It brings tears to my eyes. But eventually, we realized there's no way we could keep up making the bread for how much we were selling. So the last batch of bread that she had, she fried, and those became pita chips.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
What are the hours? And let's talk about the catering. How can people learn more about that?
We're every day except Tuesday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And we're at Farmers Market, on Thursday nights in San Luis. Catering is, you just give me a call. I've got my cell phone. We have a work number that's set up online. You look on Google, you can get a hold of me. And as long as we've got a couple days or, a lot of people now with catering, it's just, I just need food for 30 people. I can come pick it up.
Right.
And so that's what the restaurant has created is this opportunity where before I couldn't do that. I was renting a kitchen and I wasn't always available and I didn't have all this extra product. Now I do, So
I want to feed 16 people at the house or at the Airbnb. You can give, and I can just come pick up like those disposable chafing dishes and go to town.
There's a good chance, Again, everything is from scratch. I don't freeze anything. So, on a specific day at 4:00, if you want 20 skewers of steak, I might be out. In theory, we should be okay. But yeah, it's just, try to give me a day and be willing to try a couple different kebabs maybe to make everybody happy. And we haven't had a situation where we haven't made it work yet.
Well, hopefully we'll be hearing more about Shekamoo Grill on Up and Adam. I'd love to keep the messaging going on. This has been a lot of fun. I've loved chatting with you. We're going to do it again.
I really enjoy it. I'm glad that we happened to pop up on your radar. And yeah, I mean, at the very least, we'll come back and check in a year or something and see where we're at.
Oh, I don't want to wait that long, dude.
Hey, new items popping up on the menu. We'll come play a game.
Dude, appreciate you, man. You'll see me a lot more in there for the nachos, the hummus, the chips, the whole thing, dude. And what a great story. The hustle. I love your and Lindsey's story. I love your story, from Southern California to here. It's a rad journey, man. So I'm really appreciative that you shared it with everyone here.
I connect with you and you shared a lot, and knowing you and where you've gone with your own career and how much of your heart you've put into it. I think that's a lot of San Luis. People really putting in their energy and taking care of each other. And so you giving us this time has been amazing. Thank you,
Adam. Appreciate you, my man, a lot. Thank you, brother. Thanks for being up and Adam.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
All right, do yourself a favor. Go see what he and Lindsey have built at SLO Ranch Farms. Shekamoo Grill, flame grilled Persian kebabs, but oh my God, the rice, the hummus and pita chips, even that lamb burger. I never thought I'd be ordering my ass a lamb burger. It is so good. So good. But man, those chips are and I'm telling you, if I ever find someone who's big up at Costco or Trader Joe's, man, I'm going to do my best, Sina. to get those chips in there because you are onto something that is insane good. Unlike anything else. Unlike anything that we've seen. Go in and check them out. They're right in our backyard. I can't believe it. Shekamoo Grill. I swear that smoke is like a signal off the 101 when you look off at that beautiful property. Super cool. So thanks so much, my man, for the conversation. Okay. What a show. Tomorrow, we got a fun bunch of shows all week long. Zooty U is going to be here. Wild animals. Yeah, you think exotic animals in the Lowbro studio. I cannot wait. It's been far too long since we've had them in. Want to thank our friends at Moonshiner Collective for original music on the show called Start Again. To Josh Chiasa Clapper, they own Tamber Winery. You can taste their world-class wines in the village of Arroyo Grande. Timbre. Tamber, and Tamber was his name. TamberWinery.com. Check them out, and I appreciate them for the Tamber Lowbro Studios. Okay. Weather, man, getting sunnier and warmer as the week goes on. What is this? It's just, you just look outside, you're like, damn, it is so beautiful. Beautiful. I hope you are having a wonderful week. Thank you so much for rating, reviewing, subscribing, wherever you listen to this. Brand new episode of Where Wine Takes You out right now. Celebrating my birthday tomorrow. Also going to be doing a media tour. I'll have a show tomorrow for my birthday. We might have to take Friday off because I'm doing a media tour and there's just a lot going on. And also tomorrow's my birthday, and I'm going to do a show tomorrow on my birthday. You know, I might have a little fun on my birthday, but we're gonna feel it out. I want you to stick around. And the thing is, I miss you. When I don't do shows, when I don't do 5 shows a week, I feel it. I don't know. I'm sure I feel it probably more than you do. I miss it. I miss you. So just want to, throw that out there. Okay, great. Well, look, I hope you have a wonderful day. Hope your week is going swimmingly. Enjoy this weather. Get outside a little bit. Till tomorrow, I'm Adam Montiel. Appreciate you more than you even will ever know. Thank you for being up and at 'em.